What if the person you loved most simply vanished? No scream, no struggle, no goodbye, just gone. In the quiet heart of America, where small towns still believe in unlocked doors and children walk home alone, one ordinary afternoon in 1981 changed everything for one family forever. A 13-year-old girl stepped off her school bus, waved to a friend, and disappeared into thin air along a familiar wooded path. No witnesses, no ransom note, no body. For 15 long years, her name became a whisper in the wind, a cold case that haunted investigators, broke a community, and left parents wondering if hope was just another word for torture. This is not just another missing person story. This is the chilling tale of Miranda Hayes, a girl who walked into the shadows and somehow, against all odds, walked back out. But what waited for her in those shadows? Who took her? And how does a child endure 15 years of darkness only to emerge one rainy night in 1996, running for her life toward headlights on a lonely highway hundreds of miles from home? Tonight, we dive deep into one of the most baffling, heart-wrenching disappearances of the 1980s and its impossible resolution that shocked the nation. If you love stories that keep you up at night, stories where the truth is stranger and more terrifying than fiction, then buckle up. This one will stay with you. Before we begin, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We uncover forgotten cases, cold trails, and shocking twists every week. If you're already part of this community, drop a like right now to help this story reach more people who need to hear it. And share it with a friend, because sometimes the smallest share can keep a memory alive. Let's step back to 1981, a simpler time, or so it seemed. The small town of Willow Creek, Missouri, sat nestled in the rolling Ozarks, like a postcard from another era. Population, just under 8,000. Main Street had one stoplight. SI, diner called Betty's that served the best apple pie in 3 counties, and a single movie theater that still showed films on a single screen. People knew their neighbor's business, and kids rode bikes until the street lights came on. Miranda Hayes was the youngest of 3 children born to Robert and Ellen Hayes. Robert worked as a mechanic at the local Ford dealership. Steady hands, quiet demeanor. The kind of man who fixed things for free if you couldn't pay. Ellen was a part-time librarian and full-time mother, always baking cookies for school events and volunteering at church. The family lived in a modest 2-story house on Maple Street, white with green shutters, a tire swing in the front yard. Miranda, Randy to her friends, was the baby of the family. Her older brother, Tommy, 18, was about to graduate high school and dreamed of joining the Army. Her sister, Laura, 16, was the rebellious one. Big hair, eyeliner, and a boyfriend who drove a Camaro too fast. Miranda, though, was different. She was gentle, bookish, with wide hazel eyes and long chestnut hair she wore in a single braid. She loved Nancy Drew mysteries, drawing wildflowers in her sketchbook, and helping her mom in the garden. At 13, she was still very much a child, trusting, curious, unafraid of the world. October 14th, 1981, was a crisp Wednesday. The leaves had turned brilliant shades of red and gold, carpeting the ground like fire. School let out at 3:15 p.m. Miranda usually took the bus home, getting off at the corner of Ridge Road and Forest Lane, a gravel path that cut through a thin strip of woods separating the newer subdivisions from the older farms. It was a walk of maybe 10 minutes, one she'd done hundreds of times. Parents didn't worry much back then. The woods were safe. Everyone knew everyone. That afternoon, Miranda stepped off the yellow bus at 3:42 p.m. A classmate, Jenny Carter, waved from the window. "See you tomorrow, Randy," Jenny called. Miranda smiled, adjusted her backpack, and started down the path. She never made it home. Ellen Hayes noticed the clock ticking past 4:15. Miranda was usually bursting through the door by 4, hungry for a snack. Ellen called the school. No answer. She phoned Jenny's mom. Jenny said she'd seen Miranda get off the bus and head down the trail. Ellen felt the first flicker of unease. By 4:45, Robert was home from work. They drove the route together, calling Miranda's name along the path. Nothing. No backpack. No shoe print. No sign of struggle. Just the quiet rustle of leaves. At 5:30 p.m., Robert called the Willow Creek Police Department. Sergeant Dale Whitaker answered the phone. A 22-year veteran, he'd seen his share of runaways and lost hikers, but something in Robert's voice, calm but cracking, told him this was different. "She's not the type to run off," Robert said. "She's a good girl. Please, just help us look." Within the hour, patrol cars rolled up Maple Street. Officers fanned out along Forest Lane, with flashlights and walkie-talkies. Neighbors joined in. Mr. Thompson from next door, the Millers down the block, even the high school football team. They called her name until their throats were raw. "Miranda! Miranda Hayes!" The woods swallowed their voices. By nightfall, the search expanded. K-9 units from Springfield arrived. Bloodhounds sniffed Miranda's favorite sweater, but the trail went cold after 50 yards, right where the path curved behind a thick stand of oaks. It was as if she'd simply evaporated. The next morning, headlines in the local paper read, "13-year-old girl vanishes on way home from school." Flyers went up overnight. Miranda's school photo, the one with her wearing a blue sweater and smiling shyly. Missing. Miranda Hayes. Last seen October 14th, 1981. Height 5 feet 2 inches. Weight 105 pounds. Brown hair, hazel eyes. Police set up a command post in the high school gym. Volunteers brought coffee and sandwiches. Reporters from Kansas City and St. Louis arrived, cameras flashing. Detective Paul Harlan took the lead. Mid-40s, divorced, a chain smoker with tired eyes. He interviewed the family first. Ellen sat on the couch clutching a tissue. She'd never leave without telling us. She was happy. She was normal. Tommy stared at the floor. "I should have walked her home. I was working on my car." Laura cried quietly. "She borrowed my lip gloss that morning. Said she wanted to look nice for picture day next week." Robert paced. "Check the woods again. Maybe she fell. Maybe she's hurt." Harlan nodded, but his gut told him otherwise. No signs of an accident. No blood. No torn clothing snagged on branches. They interviewed Jenny Carter again. "She was walking normal. Singing a little song, I think. Then she turned the corner and was gone. A farmer on the other side of the woods, Mr. Ellis, said he'd been burning brush that afternoon. Saw nothing unusual. Heard no screams. A motorist passing on the county road claimed he saw a blue van parked near the trailhead. Unusual, but no plates remembered. Detective Paul Harlan became the face of the case. He barely slept. Coffee and cigarettes kept him going. His desk at the Willow Creek PD slowly disappeared under maps, tip sheets, and Miranda's school photo, now pinned to every wall. The first 48 hours were critical. Harlan knew the statistics. If a child isn't found quickly in an abduction, chances drop dramatically. They treated it as foul play from hour one. Ground search expanded to a 5-mile radius. National Guard volunteers joined on day 3. Helicopters from the Missouri State Highway Patrol flew grid patterns, thermal cameras scanning for body heat. Nothing. They interviewed every registered sex offender within 100 miles. Harlan personally visited a man named Carl Withers, 42, who lived 18 miles away and had a prior conviction for indecent exposure. Withers was cooperative, offered polygraph, and passed. Alibi: working night shift at a lumber yard. Co-workers confirmed. Another tip came from a trucker who claimed he saw a girl matching Miranda's description riding in a brown pickup near the state line 2 days after the disappearance. Sketch artists worked with him for hours. The drawing went nationwide. Hundreds called in sightings, from Texas to Ohio. Everyone checked. Everyone dead end. The most promising early clue came from Mrs. Evelyn Porter, 68, who lived on County Road 12. She told police she'd seen an unfamiliar blue van, late 1970s model, possibly a Chevy, parked near the trailhead around 3:30 p.m. on October 14th. It had dark windows, looked out of place, she said. I noticed because nobody parks there unless they're hunting, and it wasn't hunting season. No license plate. No make beyond blue van. Harlan issued BOLO alerts across 3 states. They pulled DMV records for blue vans registered in Missouri, Arkansas, Kansas, Oklahoma. Over 1,200 vehicles. Officers visited hundreds. Nothing matched. A composite sketch of a possible driver, based on a vague sighting from another motorist, was circulated. Dark hair, mustache, mid-30s. It looked like half the men in the Midwest. Willow Creek refused to sit idle. By week 2, the Find Miranda Committee formed. Local business owners donated printing services for flyers. The high school art club designed posters. Churches held prayer chains. Betty's Diner put donation jars on every table. Every cent went to the reward fund. The reward climbed to $50,000 by November. Anonymous donors from St. Louis and Kansas City added more. Billboards along I-44 read, "Have you seen Miranda Hayes?" with her photo and the hotline number. Psychics called in. One claimed Miranda was near water, surrounded by trees. Police followed up politely. Dragged another pond. Empty. Televised pleas. Ellen Hayes appeared on local news, voice trembling. "If anyone has my baby, please, just let her come home. We love her. We miss her." Robert stood beside her, stone-faced, fighting tears. Tommy, now 18, dropped college plans and joined search parties full-time. Laura, 16, stopped wearing makeup, stopped going out. She blamed herself for not walking her sister home that day. December 1981. Snow blanketed the Ozarks. Searchers switched to snowmobiles, looking for disturbed ground or clothing. Nothing. A major break seemed to arrive on December 23rd. A deer hunter 40 miles north found a child's blue sneaker in the woods. Size matched Miranda's. The Hayes family rushed to the sheriff's office. Ellen held the shoe, sobbing. Lab tests showed it belonged to a boy from Springfield who'd lost it months earlier. The town felt the blow collectively. By spring 1982, the active search wound down. Harlan's team stayed on it, but resources shifted. The case went cold, but never closed. New leads surfaced sporadically. 1984. A runaway teen in Kansas City Claimed she'd been held by a couple who had another girl before. Description didn't match. Cleared. 1986. Human remains found in a shallow grave near Branson. Dental records ruled out Miranda within hours. The family appeared on national shows. Unsolved Mysteries in 1987. America's Most Wanted in 1989. Robert's voice cracked during the reenactment segment. Viewers called in hundreds of tips. Most were well-meaning but useless. One man in Florida confessed he'd seen her ghost. Polygraph negative. 1990. A convicted kidnapper in Arkansas, serving time for abducting a 9-year-old, bragged in prison he took a girl from Missouri in '81. Detectives interviewed him. He recanted, admitted lying for attention. No evidence linked him. Harlan retired in 1993, handing the file to Detective Karen Mills, a younger officer who'd grown up in Willow Creek. She reread every report, re-interviewed aging witnesses. The blue van theory remained the strongest thread, but still no solid suspect. Ellen developed severe anxiety. She rarely left the house. Miranda's room stayed frozen in time. 1981 calendar on the wall. Half-finished homework on the desk. Robert threw himself into work, then into drink. He and Ellen drifted apart, though never divorced. "We're still married," he told a reporter in 1995. "Just quieter now." Tommy joined the Army, served in the Gulf War, came home quieter than he left. Laura moved to Springfield, married, had a daughter she named Miranda Rose. She sent photos to Ellen every month. "So she knows her niece," Laura said. October 22nd, 1996. Rain fell in sheets across the Missouri countryside. Victor, real name Raymond Victor Harlan, had just received the mysterious pager message. Emergency. Home now. No sender ID. He didn't wait to ask questions. He grabbed his keys, left the house in a rush, and drove off in his dark green Ford pickup, tires spitting gravel. He forgot one thing. The padlock on the basement door was still open. The inner door at the top of the stairs, left cracked just enough. Miranda heard the engine fade into the distance. She counted to 300 in her head. 5 full minutes of silence. Then she moved. Barefoot, wearing only a thin cotton dress, she climbed the wooden stairs she had not touched in 15 years. Each step felt like betrayal of the rules he'd drilled into her. Stay below. Stay quiet. Stay mine. The kitchen light was still on. A half-eaten plate of meatloaf on the table. The back door unlocked. She ran. Through wet grass, into the black wall of trees behind the house. Branches clawed at her arms and face. Roots tripped her. She fell twice, knees bloody, but kept going. The rain masked her footsteps. After what felt like forever, probably 40 minutes, she broke through the tree line onto Highway 71, a 2-lane blacktop cutting through farmland. Headlights appeared in the distance. A single car, an older blue Chevrolet sedan, approaching slowly. Miranda stepped into the road, arms raised, screaming through the downpour. "Help! Please stop! Help me!" The driver, a woman in her late 40s, named Carla Jenkins, a night shift nurse heading home after a double shift, slammed the brakes. The car skidded slightly on wet pavement. Carla rolled down the window. "Ma'am, are you okay? What happened?" Miranda collapsed against the hood, sobbing. "I've been kidnapped. For years. Please, take me somewhere safe. Call the police." Carla didn't hesitate. She helped Miranda into the passenger seat, wrapped her in a spare blanket from the trunk, and locked the doors. "You're safe now. I'm taking you to the all-night gas station up the road. 2 miles. They have a phone, lights, people. We'll call from there." The drive took less than 5 minutes. At the brightly lit Quick Mart station, Carla parked right under the canopy, ran inside, and told the clerk, "Call 911 right now. This woman needs help. She says she's been held captive for years." The clerk dialed. Carla stayed with Miranda in the car until troopers arrived. Dispatcher: "911. What's your emergency?" Carla, calm but urgent: "This is Carla Jenkins at the Quick Mart on Highway 71, mile marker 142. I just picked up a woman on the side of the road. She's barefoot, soaked, in bad shape. She says her name is Miranda Hayes. She was kidnapped from Willow Creek, Missouri, in 1981 when she was 13. She escaped tonight. She's terrified he's coming after her. Please send someone fast." Within minutes, 2 Missouri State Highway Patrol cruisers arrived, lights flashing but sirens off. Troopers secured the scene. Miranda was wrapped in more blankets, given hot coffee from the station. She repeated her story, shaking but clear. Trooper Reynolds recognized the name immediately. She radioed it in. By 3 a.m., dental records faxed from Willow Creek matched. By 7 a.m., preliminary DNA confirmed family connection. The Hayes family arrived at Joplin Regional Medical Center just after dawn. The reunion, raw, tearful, wordless, was captured only in memory, not cameras. Miranda clung to her mother like she was still a child. Robert buried his face in her hair and whispered, "We never stopped looking." FBI and Missouri State Highway Patrol launched a full-scale search for Raymond Victor Harlan, 48, construction worker, registered under aliases since 1982. Description from Miranda: 6 feet 1 inch, 190 pounds, brown hair, now mostly gray, scar on left cheek from a bar fight in the 1970s. Habitual smoker, deep voice, calloused hands, owned multiple vehicles over the years. Latest, dark green, 1989, Ford F-150, Missouri plates partial, RVH-. Property raid at the farmhouse yielded gold. The wooden box of newspaper clippings, a journal, sporadic entries from 1981 to 1990 detailing the girl and his mission to protect her, receipts for purchases in false names, a Polaroid camera, and undeveloped film. Developed later, images of the basement interior, no people. The mysterious pager message? Traced to a payphone in Springfield. Caller unknown, possibly a wrong number, a prank, or divine intervention. No one ever claimed responsibility. Harlan's truck was spotted on traffic cameras heading west on I-44 toward Oklahoma. Then nothing. November 2nd, 1996. A small motel in Amarillo, Texas. A desk clerk recognized Harlan from the nationwide Bolo Bulletin. Scar on the cheek, nervous demeanor, paid cash for a room under Ron Harris. He called local PD. Within 20 minutes, a SWAT team surrounded the motel. Harlan tried to run out the back. Barefoot, no shoes, just like his victim years earlier. He was tackled in the parking lot, cuffed without incident. In custody, he said almost nothing. Only, "She was safe with me. The world is dangerous." Searches of the farmhouse and Harlan's storage unit in Springfield uncovered more. Restraints, sedatives, old bottles of chloroform, clothing in various sizes, some child-sized from the early years, a scrapbook of missing child articles, not just Miranda, but others he'd followed. No evidence of additional victims, but investigators believe he may have planned more psychological profile. Harlan fit the pattern of a controlling, delusional abductor, viewed himself as a savior. Childhood of abuse, failed marriages, increasing isolation. Springfield Federal Courthouse. Charges: kidnapping across state lines. Unlawful imprisonment. Prosecution was led by Assistant U.S. Attorney Margaret Klein. Defense claimed mental illness, dissociative disorder, but experts testified Harlan was competent and knew right from wrong. Miranda testified via closed-circuit video, protected from direct confrontation. Her voice was steady. He took my childhood. He took my name. He told me no one was looking for me. But they were. They never stopped. The jury deliberated 4 hours. Guilty on all counts. Sentencing: life without parole, plus 30 years consecutive. When the gavel fell, the courtroom erupted in quiet sobs. Ellen Hayes held Miranda's hand. Robert nodded once, tears streaming. Willow Creek threw a quiet celebration. Not fireworks, but a potluck at the community center. Balloons. A new sign at the trailhead. Miranda's path. Hope endures. Miranda moved back to Missouri, slowly. Therapy. Relearning how to trust the world. She wrote a book years later, 15 Years in Shadow. Not for fame, but to help other survivors. The Hayes family healed in pieces. Tommy became a counselor for at-risk youth. Laura's daughter, Miranda Rose, grew up knowing her aunt as the bravest person alive. Ellen planted a garden behind the house. Wildflowers, the kind Miranda used to draw. Robert quit drinking. Started volunteering at the sheriff's office, cold case unit. And so we come to the end of Miranda Hayes' story. 15 years stolen. 15 years of silence, fear, and forced survival. 15 years of a family refusing to let go, a town refusing to forget, and a nation that, when the news finally broke, stopped scrolling long enough to feel something real. Miranda came home in 1996, not as the 13-year-old girl who disappeared, but as a 28-year-old woman who had endured more than most of us can imagine. She didn't return unbroken. No one could. But she returned alive. She returned whole enough to rebuild, and that, in itself, is a miracle. In the years that followed, Miranda chose quiet strength over public spectacle. She declined most media interviews after the trial. She didn't want to be defined by what was taken from her. Instead, she focused on what she could reclaim. She went back to school, slowly, part-time, at a community college in Springfield. Studied art, the thing that had once been her escape inside those basement walls. She drew again, landscapes, flowers, open skies, never forests, not yet. She married in 2003, a kind, patient man named Daniel who worked as a park ranger. They met at a survivor support group. He understood silence. He never pushed her to speak before she was ready. They have 2 children now. A daughter, Emma, born in 2005, and a son, Caleb, in 2009. Miranda named her daughter after the wildflowers she used to sketch as a girl. Emma has her mother's hazel eyes and gentle smile. The Hayes family healed in their own time, in their own ways. Ellen passed away peacefully in 2012, surrounded by her children and grandchildren. Before she left, she told Miranda, "You gave me back my life the day you came home." Those were her last coherent words. Robert lived another decade. He became a fixture at the Willow Creek Sheriff's Office, helping review cold cases, especially those involving missing children. He said it kept him close to the daughter he almost lost forever. He died in 2022, holding a photo of Miranda at her wedding. Tommy became a licensed therapist specializing in trauma recovery. He still lives in Missouri, close to his sister. Laura and her family moved back to Willow Creek in 2008. Her daughter, Miranda Rose, now a teenager herself, adores her aunt. They bake cookies together, just like Ellen used to do. The town of Willow Creek changed too. The trail where Miranda disappeared was renamed Miranda's Path in 1998. A small stone marker stands at the trailhead, dedicated to Miranda Hayes and all who never stopped searching. Hope endures. Every October 14th, a small group still gathers there at dusk. Candles, quiet stories, balloons released into the sky. Not as many people now. The older generation has passed. The younger ones have moved away. But the ritual continues. Raymond Victor Harlan remains in federal prison. He will die there. In 2018, he attempted to appeal his conviction on grounds of mental incompetence. The appeal was denied within weeks. The judge's written opinion was blunt. The defendant showed calculated awareness and deliberate cruelty over a period of 15 years. There is no question of competency, only of accountability. Miranda never attended another hearing. She didn't need to. Justice had already been served. What lingers most about this case isn't the horror. It's the resilience. It's the truck driver who stopped on a rainy highway without hesitation. It's Carla Jenkins, the nurse, who didn't drive past, who stayed until help arrived, who later said, "I just did what anyone should do." It's the detectives who never closed the file, even when budgets shrank and leads dried up. It's the volunteers who walked miles in the rain and snow year after year. It's a family that kept an empty chair at every holiday table for 15 years. And it's Miranda herself, proof that even after unimaginable darkness, a person can still choose light. Her story reminds us of something simple but profound. Hope is not passive. It is stubborn. It is active. It is refusing to let the worst day define the rest of your life. Thank you for sitting with the pain, the uncertainty, the waiting. Thank you for remembering that behind every cold case headline is a real person, a real family, real heartbreak, and sometimes real miracles. Stories like Miranda's don't get told without people like you who care enough to listen. If this channel has brought you even one moment of reflection, one reminder to hug your loved ones a little tighter, one spark of hope for someone still missing, then we've done what we set out to do. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking, commenting, sharing. Every single action helps these stories reach someone who needs them. If you want more deep dive cases, forgotten disappearances, shocking resolutions, tales of human endurance, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We post every week. Drop a comment below. What part of Miranda's story stayed with you the most? Have you ever been part of a search, a vigil, a community effort? Or simply send some love to survivors everywhere. And if you or someone you know is struggling, please reach out. Help is real. Hope is real. Until next time, keep looking out for each other, because sometimes the missing find their way home.